The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction very well may be the cosmic jackpot that you've been waiting for. So here's how to work with this week's astrology in order to pick the winning numbers and win this celestial lottery. Hi, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to Just Your Magic Monday, particularly your Magic Monday astrological forecast for the week of April 15th to April 21st, 2024, where we are discussing, just as we do every single week, what is happening in the cosmos above us and how we will feel these themes and influences down here on planet Earth amongst us. We gather here in my cosmic corner of the internet with a cosmic beverage in hand to let you know not just your astrological weather report, but how you can co-create with the astrology in order to live your most magical and your most aligned life. And this week's astrology is incredibly important to co-create with if you want to reap this lucky energy that could flow into your universe. The lucky energy that is accessible to us this week is due to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which lands this Saturday, April 20th. Now, I did do a video that breaks this down sign by sign where you are getting this lucky, unexpected flow of energy into your universe. But I want to highlight, while this energy can be liberating, while this energy could be exciting, while this energy could be lucrative, it's important to highlight that it does require our participation. It does require our co-creation. And a big part of that, again, we'll be talking about it all throughout this episode of Magic Monday, but a big part of that is being open to the new. Jupiter is aligning with Uranus, which is the planet of what is unexpected. So it's important to be looking for new opportunities to make money if that's how you want to leverage it, new opportunities to widen your perspective, new travel opportunities. This energy will pass you by if you are consistent this week and just doing the same old. And beyond even just doing the same old activities, having the same old thoughts. Like, this is an important week to get a little bit out of your comfort zone in order to generate new ideas, in order to get some new stimuli, in order for these opportunities to find you. It's important to highlight, as liberating and lucrative and abundant as this energy can be, it's not that Jupiter and Uranus are going to knock on your bedroom door and say, here you go, here's a $5 million check. Here's an idea for an invention that's going to change the world. Here's that soulmate that you were asking for. Here, you want them? That's not the energy of this transit. And I don't want you to feel like it's a dud if something major doesn't happen this week. There is opportunity for something major to grow or something incredibly lucky to come into your experience, but you've got to pay attention. You've got to be open to the new ways of seeing the world, new people that can meet you, new experiences that can come into your horizon. It's also important to note, now if you are familiar with me and my content, you know I'm never an astrologer who will fearmonger you. That's not what I'm about. I'm all about co-creative astrology. But I want to highlight, the energy of Uranus is not necessarily a positive nor a negative. It simply governs things that are unexpected. So yes, with Jupiter-Uranus, some people are going to have an idea this week that's going to end up making them tons of money. Some people are going to dive into a new topic that's going to set fire to their soul and electrify their perspective. Some people are going to meet someone who's going to take them out of their comfort zone. Like, there's going to be these lucky, opportune, expansive events happening. Again, it could show up in small ways, but it'll continue to build. That will be the story for some. Some, there could be an energy around feeling a certain energy of bad luck. Like when we talk about luck in Jupiter, you know, with the energy of Uranus, there could be unexpected happenings where you're just like, really? Like, universe, do you hate me? Like, what is going on right now? Because it's important to highlight, I've been likening this conjunction a lot to the lottery. And it's so interesting how lottery winners a lot of the time end up in a worse position than when they won it. They tend to squander it on boats and like all of these things that don't really help them accumulate wealth. Like, would you consider that person lucky then? I think part of the ask with Jupiter-Uranus is be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And with the energy of Uranus being the planet of what's unexpected, it's important to know that when you get what it is that you wish for, a lot of times it's different than how you imagined it, okay? A lot of times it feels different, it looks different. Maybe the you that you are as you have this manifestation is different. That's the energy of Uranus, is expect the unexpected. So yes, there is opportunities this week for unexpected liberation. Jupiter Jupiter is the planet of freedom. You could break through some self-limiting barriers this week. Jupiter is the planet of education with the energy of Uranus. You could learn something new that really electrifies your perspective. This conjunction aligns in Taurus, hence why I've been speaking a lot about money. There could be an idea that comes into your awareness, an opportunity that comes up that can make you a lot of money. It's important to be paying attention with the energy of Uranus to new opportunities that could be trying to find you in order to accumulate wealth. But it's important with Uranus. You got to stay on your toes because how this energy manifests is always different than how you thought it was going to go. So in addition to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which lands this Saturday, we also have some Chiron energy weaved into our week. So if you're not feeling this lucky, abundant energy quite yet, if you're still reeling from eclipse season, by the way, let me know, how was that for you all? How are you doing? Important week to continue to take care of yourself, especially with all the Chiron energy. Like there could be certain sensations of why me, or having certain heartache that you're processing, having certain mental stories that are coming to the surface with Mercury retrograde. We'll talk about it. But by the weekend, there's this energy around things are shifting. We enter Taurus season with Jupiter Uranus. We're spotting new opportunities. And with some supportive Mars aspects, we're starting to feel this whisper around, what if it could all be okay? What if it's all going to work out perfectly? What if it works out even better than I could have imagined it, right? Like that could be the energy of Jupiter Uranus. Blessings and alignments that are so divine, that are so beautiful, you couldn't even concocted it. That's the beauty of Uranus, is that it keeps us on our toes. So we will talk deeply about this energy, both thematically as well as day by day. But before we do, take a step inside my cosmic cafe. Let me know what you are sipping on to start your week. I am in the midst of a very scandalous love triangle. You all know I've been on and off with my Celsius drinks. And after calling it off with Celsius for good this time, I swear, at the store I saw that they had come out with Astro Vibe, which obviously I could not resist. So I took Celsius back. I was rehooked ever since. But you know, the energy of this week's astrology, it's about being open to the new. It's about being open to the unexpected. It's about being open to the novel. So when I was walking through Ralph's, I saw her. I've never tried her before. It's called Alani Nu Cosmic Stardust. I couldn't resist. Clearly, Alani Nu was making its play for my heart. So I decided to get this a try. And my review, I think it tastes delightful. And I think it's the same amount of caffeine as Celsius. But for some reason, this is hitting me way harder. Like the first couple of sips, I was like, woo, okay, we are going. Like it is not a coincidence that they have a little rocket ship here. Like that was me. I was a little sleepy this morning. Then I took a sip of this and I was like, let's go. Let's film Magic Monday. Let's talk about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which is helpful because I don't know if you guys can still hear it in my voice. My voice has been just going back and forth. So I'm apologizing that my Magic Mondays, you have to hear me just croaking and squeaking into the mic. Let me know if you can hear it. I think it is better than it was last week, and I am resting my voice. But it's hard when you're a chatty gal. My gosh. I didn't realize until this happened that everything I do, like every element of my business, is tied to my voice. I didn't realize that until it was gone. So this experience has really taught me to protect this instrument. I promise, when I'm not drinking Alani Nu, I'm drinking a lot of tea with honey in it. And before we get into Vibe Check of the Week, I just want to make a brief invitation to say that the Self-Care Astrology April 2024 class, we're doing monthly group classes all 2024, but this month our class will be held on Saturday, April 27th at 10 a.m. PDT. And we're talking about how to leverage your own transits in order to seize lucky seasons of life that you are in, or to navigate more challenging energies that you are moving through. Because beyond the collective astrology that we talk about here on Magic Monday, you also have individual astrology of where transits are activating within your chart. And this class will demystify how to make sense of the different planets and how they're weaving into your experience, and furthermore, how you can co-create with them. So if that feels up your alley, make sure to check out Self-Care Astrology below. If you can't make the live class, this class, as every other class, will be recorded. And the Self-Care Astrology program also includes 8 weeks of online material. You can add on personal support with me, whether via voice memos back and forth every single week, or one-on-one consultations if that's up your alley. So check that out below. So if you're feeling a call to be around a cosmic community, make sure to check that out below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take it into Vibe Check of the Week. So if you are new to Magic Monday and my cosmic little corner of the internet, firstly, welcome. Secondly, I don't always sound like this. So apologies about my voice. And thirdly, Vibe Check of the Week is a segment that we do in our weekly horoscope where we essentially liken all of the energetics that we will experience this week, from Sun square Pluto, Venus conjoining Chiron, Mercury conjoining Venus, Mercury on Chiron, the Jupiter Uranus conjunction, of course, Sun ingressing into Taurus. We take all of what those energies feel like and compare it to a real life scenario. I'm not saying this exact situation is going to manifest and unfold within your universe, but clue into some of the feelings, the dynamics, the emotions of it to figure out what may surface within your universe. So this week's vibe check is the following scenario. We will say that something didn't work out. You know, we're coming out of eclipse season. And eclipse season, sometimes things just get snatched from our world where we're like, really? Really? It just feels like there can be certain doors being slammed shut. There can feel like there are certain people who are just ripped from our experiences, certain jobs that we so wanted to get but felt like they got taken away, or places that we wanted to live in. Sometimes we can just be reeling this energy of a disappointment. Now, keep in mind, we had the Aries solar eclipse last week, which PS, you can get caught up on where that was influencing your chart that you'll want to check out. There is a new beginning unfolding, but there's still an energy of an ouch, okay? And we see that with this week, with Mercury aligned with Chiron and Venus aligning with Chiron. That's sort of the energy of ouch, of dealing with some insecurities or some heartache or something that just didn't work out. And it's going to be important this week in working that muscle around what if it is all working out for me? What if what I'm considering as bad luck is setting me up for the most amazing luck I'll ever experience within my lifetime? What if this door being slammed shut is launching me and propelling me forward to everything my heart has desired and more? It's going to be important to work that muscle this week. We'll get into why. But within the vibe check, we'll say that something did not align in the way that you wanted it to. For the sake of the vibe check, we'll say that there was a job and it was in a different state and you were super excited about it. The interview process was super long and drawn out, and it would require you to move, and everything just felt so in alignment. Your values with the company, your position, what you would be doing, even the state that you're going to move to. You were super excited to just start your new life, right? And you get the job offer. And in negotiation, it becomes more and more apparent to you that this company is not able to give you what it is that you want and what it is you know you deserve. Their compensation is insanely low. They're not offering any relocation costs. They're not even offering any benefits. You're like, this is a joke. And I have put so much energy into this opportunity. Dang, I'm disappointed that this did not align. And because so much of your energy was going towards this job offer and you thought you were going to move, you didn't sign the lease on the apartment that you live in currently. And the apartment complex is putting somebody else in your unit. So you're being forced out of your home. And there's this energy of like, for what? Like, why? What am I going to do? Where am I going to work? Where am I going to live? Like I said, the Aries solar eclipse, it's a new start, it's initiating, but there could be elements of this new start that you're like, oh, can I do this? And you know, this week we have Sun square Pluto, which is absolutely this energy around feeling like our life is transforming and shifting into something that we do not recognize. And there could be certain disappointments around, gosh, I so wanted my life to go this particular way. I so wanted this job offer to work out, but I had to know my worth. I had to stand in my value, as painful as that was. And so after, you know, feeling your feels in your apartment, crying a little bit, you decide, you're like, okay, I just need to go for a walk. Like, I'm freaking out. I don't know if I'm going to be okay. So you go outside, you're still sort of crying, and you just start talking to God. You start talking to the universe, and you're like, universe, if I'm going to be okay, show me a cricket. Show me a cricket. So you're on this walk and you're already starting to feel better. The flowers are blooming. You know, Taurus season begins this week, and Taurus season is just such a lovely time of year. The flowers are blooming. The birds are tweeting. There's this energy alive in the air of renewal and possibility. And even though you're not feeling that within your universe, you're starting to feel little whispers of hope around, okay, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. This might be an incredible blessing. What if I had moved states and taken this position and then I was miserable there because this is clearly a company that's undervaluing the people who work there? Like, you're starting to get to a more hopeful space, but you're still like, but I haven't seen a cricket. I haven't seen a cricket. And you have one more lap left on your walk. And then sure enough, you see a cricket. But not just that, you see a cricket and you're like, okay, thank you, universe. Like that was the universe telling me I'm gonna be okay. And then somebody walks by you and they have a Jiminy Cricket shirt on. And you're like, okay, universe, thank you, double confirmation. And then you walk by a park and there's people playing cricket. And you're like, okay, universe, I get it. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be better than okay. And you will be. Again, I'm gonna leave vibe check there because there's a little bit of a cliffhanger with this week's astrology. Yes, with Jupiter Uranus, there's new opportunities. Even on this walk, it's like you're thinking of new ideas, you're thinking of new potentials. We have Mars sextiling Jupiter Uranus, so you're starting to get inspired, starting to get motivated, and the universe is letting you know you're gonna be okay. We're supporting you. What you may be considering a incredible bout of bad luck that this opportunity didn't work out could be setting you up for something so much more aligned. Like this rejection is truly the universe's protection. This resistance is the universe's assistance. And with the energy of Uranus, it may not have unfolded how you thought that it was going to, but it's going to unfold even better. And that's an important muscle to work as you navigate this week's astrology. Because again, the energy of Chiron, some of us are moving through some painful energy, and some of it could be parts of your journey around where it is that you are insecure, or where it is that you don't feel good enough, or where it is that you are healing. Like some people could be going through some sort of heartache with Venus on Chiron. This was also weaved into the vibe check. Venus is about money. So even in the negotiations with that position, when they gave you that number, it's like, really? Is this what you think I'm worth to you? Like with Venus Chiron, there could be certain pangs around our own value, around our own worth, and potentially around finances as well, and just feeling that energy of ouch. But again, because you did not lock yourself into that opportunity, you're open for new opportunities that genuinely see your worth and your value to come into your experience, perhaps unexpectedly with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction aligning in Taurus, right? It's not always comfortable to know your worth and to assert your worth. And sometimes you can even say in negotiations, like, this does not meet my requirements, but inwardly you're like, but does it? Should I just take it? This is what they say that I deserve. Like maybe it is. Like the energy of Chiron, it could ping at old inadequacies within us and make us feel tempted to settle. But with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction landing in Taurus, it's important to know that fortune favors those who see the worth and value within themselves. And it's not an overnight journey. Again, as this Chiron stuff pings within us, allow it to illuminate what parts of you do feel wounded, or what parts of you do feel insecure or inadequate, for the purpose of healing it, for the purpose of alchemizing it. Because with Jupiter Uranus, it's this energy around being able to spot opportunities that you feel that you are worthy of, right? Like if you're on that walk and you see a billboard advertising this amazing company that happens to be within your niche, but you don't feel you're worthy of that, your eyes will glaze right by that. You won't even see the stimuli and the new opportunities that that could be bringing into your universe. Also, if you were to settle with that lowball offer, you would be blocking how this abundant Jupiter-Uranus energy could be coming into your experience, bringing you a true match. In the Jupiter-Uranus video, you can get caught up there if you want to just dive into that transit as a whole. Unbelievable, but this transit's actually almost wrapped up. It's wild. But within that video, I talked about how with Jupiter is a certain brand of luck that we can access during the transit. And with Jupiter in Taurus, it's basically this energy around fortune favoring the patient, right? Taurus is a very slow, steady energy. Fortune favoring the pragmatic, right? With the energy of Taurus, we could get inspiration, but there's an ask to anchor it, make something happen with it. And fortune favors those who feel they are worthy of fortune. That's going to be important this week, to know that you are worthy of unexpected blessings, to know that you are worthy of unexpected experiences, to know that you are worthy of unexpected gifts and love and beautiful things that could weave into your experience, even if this Chiron energy is telling you that you are not good enough. It's important to understand that you are somebody who's worthy of fortune, and allow the fortune of this week's astrology in the big ways and the small ways to find you. So we'll go ahead and take it into our day-by-day analysis. I just want to make a quick note that all times that I mention are PDT, so please adjust into your time zone before putting into your planner or making a mental note. I also want to let you know I do have a tendency to talk very fast, especially when I'm drinking one of these. So please feel free to hit the gear icon to adjust the playback speed to allow my rate of speaking to align with your rate of processing. There's also timestamps below. I know that this forecast is quite long and a lot of individuals like to kind of watch the days as the days go by, so feel free to do that. I also want to give a shout out to Claudia from Soulflow for my beautiful purple candle. It smells amazing. I love everything from her shop. I will link below. Check it out. You can use my code. I'll also have that below. She sent me such a beautiful package. I mean, talk about Jupiter Uranus, unexpected gifts. I was having kind of a bad day, and then I opened the door and I was like, what is this? And it was a box of just candles and this beautiful Haley Comet Astrology keychain. It just made my day. Again, with Jupiter Uranus, be open to the unexpected. You never know when you're going to open your door and see a beautiful package on your doorstep. You never know when you're going to meet someone who's going to electrify your perception. You never know when you're going to get an idea in your mind that's going to change your world. You never know. And that's part of the fun of Uranus energy. So let's go ahead and take it into Monday, April 15th. So on Monday, April 15th, firstly, I want to let you know that the first quarter moon exacts at 12:13 p.m. PDT. And this is a callback to last week's Aries solar eclipse, as well as a halfway point to next week's Scorpio full moon. And the reason why in the vibe check, the scenario did not end with a nice bow, right? Around you came back from the walk and there was a new offer in a state that was much better and a salary that was higher. The reason the vibe check ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger is because that's sort of the energy that we're navigating through cosmically. Like we just got through that Aries solar eclipse, and next week's Scorpio full moon squares Pluto, right? This Sunday, the sun squares Pluto. So the energy that we are navigating, there's still an energy around, there's a little bit of a trust fall. There's still some murkiness. Things are still aligning and transforming, which is what makes working that muscle of trust and staying open for the opportunities even more important, even more vital. And so the first quarter moon is commonly referred to as the crisis of action moon phase, because this is a time in which there can be some obstacles. They can be physical obstacles, they can be emotional obstacles, but there could be something that feels hard. It's important to highlight when we're talking about a first quarter moon, it's essentially the sun and moon squaring one another. And when we think of the sun and the moon, the luminaries currently, sun is currently sitting in its exaltation of Aries and moon is sitting in its rulership of Cancer. So we have two very strong luminaries, but they're still at battle with one another. So you could feel at battle with certain parts of yourself. You could be enticed by new directions, but also feeling this pull of the past. But where they are working together is around being able to move through the obstacles, move through the hurdles, overcome the challenges of your life. They have different ways of getting there, but they're both powerful. The Aries sun energy is around knowing who it is that you are, right? Remembering who it is that you are. And with the energy of moon in Cancer, moon being the luminary of emotions and self-soothing, knowing what it is that you need to take care of yourself to an emotional level. And when we consider this in light of the vibe check, it's almost this energy around getting this offer and both knowing like, A, this is not representative of the person that I am, the professional that I am, you know, the creative essence that I have to give this world. This is not something that's in alignment, as well as this is not going to give me what it is that I need, right? With the Cancer moon, this is not going to provide me the home I need. There's an energy around being able to overcome obstacles through this lens of who it is that you are and what it is that you need. But even though it's powerful in that essence, you could just feel at a crossroads nevertheless. Like Aries is intoxicated by new challenges. Cancer moon wants stability. Aries is marching into the future. Cancer is attached to the past. So you can feel kind of this push-pull energy. But just remember, when it comes to coming out of eclipse season, the only way out is through. You got to keep moving through it. And on the same day, we have Mercury conjoining Chiron. And so this is an ouch aspect, and this has happened before, as this is a key part of Mercury retrograde. So there could be information that is revealed today, a comment that is made to you, even news that creates an ouch within you. With Mercury Chiron, it's not what you wanted to hear. And with Mercury retrograde, you could be taking things very personally. Like if somebody makes a remark to you at the mall or at work, you can be like, what did I do? What did I do to that person? But it's so important to know, especially today, not to take anything personally. It's one of the 4 agreements, okay? It's one of the 4 agreements. Do not take things personally. People are battling their own battles, okay? People are fighting through their own eclipse stories. People are moving through their own stuff, their own emotions. Moon's in Cancer most of the day. So try not to take things personally. I will say with Mercury in Aries, a lot of us are being a lot more blunt, a lot more direct, and that honesty could be a little bit painful. It could be not what you were trying to hear, not what you were wanting to hear. And the vibe check, this is seeing the number that they're offering, getting that news. And with the energy of Chiron being like, dang, why aren't I good enough? Making it personal, making it something bad about you. That is just indicating that that company does not know how to handle their finances if that was the number that they were throwing out there. But if you get attached to it around why aren't I good enough? Why is that what I'm worth? You fight this battle within your own head. Because that's how I feel that this energy is going to come to the surface for most of us, is being at war with yourself. Mercury is in a Mars ruled sign. Mars is weaponry. And Mercury retrograde turns the lens inward. So you could be beating yourself up about something, telling yourself why you are not good enough, why this isn't going to work out, why you are the worst. And honestly, when we consider that Mercury retrograde also has to do with the past and the moon's in Cancer, Cancer governs the past, you could even be letting your mind travel to places that you know is going to hurt. Think about that situationship you had for 3 months that really did a number on you. Listening to the music that you and your ex would listen to, even though it hurts. Looking at photos of you and your ex-best friend. There could be an energy where you're allowing your mental space to be cluttered by things that are hurting you. And I shared this affirmation before, but it bears repeating today as well, around if you notice that your mind is just drifting to a territory that hurts you. It hurts to think about these memories. It hurts to even buy into these narratives around how you're telling yourself that you are not good enough. I want you to repeat the affirmation, that is not a safe space for my brain to go. Safe space for my brain to go. That is not a safe space for my brain to go. And drawing your awareness elsewhere. Like, no, we don't. It takes building that muscle. It takes like mental fortitude to really direct your brain and say, nope, we're not thinking about that. That causes us pain. That is not a safe space for my brain to travel to. And I want to say this, especially with the Cancer moon trining Neptune today. A lot of us do this via fantasies. Even if it's not something that has hurt us, sometimes there could be certain fantasies that we engage in that are causing harm. Even if it's not painful, like reliving the gory details of your last breakup, sometimes it could be painful just indulging in the fantasy space, honestly, with the Cancer moon trining Neptune, around fantasizing, what if it had worked out with me and my ex? And you're not thinking about the actual gory details, but it's still causing harm nonetheless, building up this dream world of what you and this person could have. Thoughts are energy. And so just being intentional with what it is that you're putting it towards. Like I said, Mercury is in a Mars-ruled sign. Mars can be weaponry, and we could be turning the sword inward, stabbing ourselves repeatedly via thinking of these fantasies that are never going to go to pass, thinking of that apology we're never going to get, fantasizing with this life that we could build with somebody that's never going to happen. You can either have that sword stabbed inward repeatedly, waste of energy, or with the energy of Mars being action, moving forward with your thinking, having new sorts of thoughts, not allowing your brain to return to those old people or old scenarios or old pain points over and over. Your comfort zone can be painful. Like sometimes our comfort zone isn't even comfortable. Like sometimes we can be so identified with the pain or so identified with certain loops that we're stuck in or certain, relationships that didn't work out, that is our new comfort zone. Like comfort zone is not always comfortable. Sometimes it's just what it is that we feel that we deserve. Sometimes it's getting lost in fantasy with this person who didn't treat you right and imagining that they did because that's the best that we feel like we're going to get. And it hurts every time because that's not how it panned out and it's just in your dreams. But it's your comfort zone. Like we were talking about last week, it's important to challenge your comfort zone, especially with this Pluto energy coming into your experience. So on Monday, I would just say, be mindful of what your mind is putting energy behind and towards, and who and what you are allowing to live in your brain rent-free, even if they are horrible tenants and they are writing on the walls and creating havoc. Like, kick them out, evict those tenants, so to speak, from your mind, those thoughts that are just creating pain, just like painful loops. I just feel like some of us are trying to find healing where the pain occurred. And the thing is, you're not going to find healing where the pain occurred. Like for some of you with Mercury Chiron, you might have a tenet that's in your brain around, an ex or a situation that didn't work out, that you just keep hashing over the details around, why didn't this work out? What did I do wrong? Again, taking it very personally and going back, just thinking, if only I could figure it out, then I would be able to heal. Like, I think to a certain degree, closure is a myth. It's just a gift you have to give yourself. And it's certainly not going to be found in the scene of the crime, so to speak, of where the heartache or where the disappointment happened. What happened happened. We gotta move on. And I just feel like with the energy of Mercury Chiron, you could be observing like there's certain tenets within your mind who are living there rent-free, okay, creating havoc within your mind, painful loops, painful stories, painful reminders, painful memories that you can't help but allow to take residence within your mind. Thoughts are energy. And again, if there's all of these tenets that are cluttered in your mind that are wreaking havoc and creating more harm than good, it's so full, you're not able to see the opportunities of Jupiter Uranus. You're not able to look up and see the billboards of something that could inspire a new way of life. You're not able to be open enough to receive a major transmission that's going to support your spiritual journey. Like, we have to be mindful of what we are feeding energy into and just observe. Is there any good I am going to create or find rehashing the same thing and contemplating it from 20 different angles, right? Or is the only closure I need to give myself at this time, it is what it is, and keep it moving, right? Can I allow this job offer that's on the table with the paltry number that they're offering, can I allow that to be a reflection of this company, a reflection of what the universe has in store, and not take it personally around it means something bad about me, and allow that tenet of my own unworthiness to take up so much resonance in my brain that there's not room for anything else. So be mindful of what you're allowing to take residence within your mind on Monday. And so from a lunar perspective, on the 15th, outside of the first quarter moon, which happens midday, which again could charge your Monday with some challenging energies, whether it's emotional or just obstacles within your journey, that may very well require courage, right? Requires courage to say no to the job offer, right? Especially if there's internal loops that are existing within you, making you feel like this is what you should settle for. The Cancer moon sextiles Jupiter and Uranus like really at 1 a.m., 3 a.m.-ish. So for a lot of us, we'll be asleep. But if you happen to be up, this would be a great day for housekeeping, for gardening, for finding new ways to infuse your home with little loveliness. Have a simmer pot, have an essential oil infuser, burn a candle, like find little ways to just infuse some nice energy into your home. Your home is a reflection of your spirit. Treat it with respect. And Monday's moon day after all, so definitely a great day to really pour into your physical environment. If you happen to be up during that time, that would be a beautiful time for it. And this might help with the Mercury Chiron energy. Like, it's going to be helpful on Monday to keep your mind busy so that you're not allowing the destructive tenets of your thoughts to take up more and more space, to move into bigger and bigger homes. Like, sometimes it's helpful to just get some new tenets in there, get some new ideas, get some new stimuli so that you can allow yourself to pour into something constructive rather than returning to familiar pain points that could feel maybe comfortable in the moment, but aren't doing you any good. So that's why it's always important to challenge your comfort zone, especially if you're just noticing that it's not good for your health. It's not good for your physical health. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your emotional health. Like with Mercury Chiron, there just could be certain awarenesses around where things are helping or hindering our healing journey and just our overall wellness, our overall well-being altogether. And with Mercury Chiron, it's just important to give your brain some new stimuli so that you're not, rehashing old painful loops or things of that nature. Books, podcasts, conversations, new topics. Give your brain some brain food, especially if you're noticing that you're in a little bit more of an obsessive mental energy. Sometimes Mercury Chiron can go there, so that might be helpful. So definitely cleaning your home or doing something to beautify your home could be helpful to keep your mind busy. The Cancer moon will trine Neptune and Pisces at 422, so beautiful day to infuse some magic into the mundane. Again, cleaning your home is not just cleaning your home. It is moving energy. It is inspiring new life. It is cleansing. I'm telling you, if you ever feel like your life is stagnant, clean your home, organize, get rid of stuff. Your home is a reflection of what is happening within your energetic space. So if something feels stagnant or blocked, start to move things within your energetic space and notice how much elements of your life shift as well. Like with the energy of Cancer moon, not everybody needs to be cleaning. Can you tell me Virgo moon? I feel like every Magic Monday I'm like, you should clean. But with the energy of Cancer moon trining Neptune, it's either this energy around seeing the soul that exists within our home and infusing it with a little bit of intentionality. There could be an energy around really spending some loving time with our pets, with our children, pouring into the people who really are your safe space, who really are your comfort zone, who really do pour into you, who create the environment to heal. You can't heal where you got hurt. And I feel like that's important to remind ourselves with Mercury, Chiron, especially for those of you who have recently gone through a breakup, with eclipse season, that's very common. It's so common for us to want to revert back to that safe space of that person. But it's like you cannot heal where it is that you got hurt. That might feel to be the only antidote, but it's just going to hurt you deeper, okay? It's time to create new sanctuaries that can genuinely support your healing. So just wanted to share that. I feel like one person out there needed to hear that. So let me know if it was you. But also, great afternoon to listen to some music. The trine to Neptune makes things very dreamy and mystical. And at 4:22 p.m., the moon will be void until it enters the creative, self-expressive sign of Leo at 7:24 p.m., promptly opposing Pluto at 11:23 p.m., which absolutely could send your emotions into a little bit more of an intense space, but we'll build more in this energy with Tuesday's astrology. On Tuesday, April 16th, so last night, the Leo moon opposed Pluto in Aquarius at 11:30-ish p.m. And so we could be feeling hints weaved into our Tuesday of this influence. Now, the first theme that may come to the surface is very intense, extreme, polarizing emotions. We all know Leo moon has a tendency to be a little dramatic. And so there could be an energy where something very minor happens. You can't open a can, you accidentally drop your hairbrush, where this energy makes you feel like it's the end of the world. Like you're already having a bad day and then this final thing, you're like, should I just give up? Should I just quit now? This world is so cruel. Like there could definitely be intense, extreme emotions that come to the surface of that nature. I also want to say sometimes with moon opposite Pluto, there could just be this awareness around things are changing and transforming. That's absolutely weaved in to our astrology with the Taurus moon squaring off with Pluto over the weekend and feeling uncomfortable with it. Like sometimes when we're very rooted in how things are, which keep in mind, moon in Leo, that's a fixed sign. We're entering Taurus season later, that's a fixed sign. Fixed signs are the energy of maintaining. And a lot of times when it comes to maintaining, when we contemplate something new, we assume change equals bad. So change is something that I could fear. And it's really important to expand your perception as seeing change as a vessel in which your prayers are answered, in which new blessings can come into your experience. There tends to be an energy, even if you're seeing like 555 a lot, or you're seeing something within a transit that's on the horizon where it's like, oh, something's going to change. We tend to assume the worst and tend to think doom, fear, horror, like it's all done for me. But everything that you want is on the other side of change. So rather than thinking, what if the worst possible happens, reframe around, what if the best happens? What if it's all going to work out beautifully? And that might be challenging to navigate with the moon opposing Pluto. And I also want to say that Leo is a very loyal, heart-centered energy. And with the opposition to Pluto, there is an ask to contemplate what it is that you are loyal to and whether it is helping you or hindering you. Because we know Pluto can be a destructive influence. And, Leo energy, fixed energy in general, can be loyal to a fault, sticking by someone or sticking with something, even when it's actively harming them. Because again, it's the energy of maintaining. It's the energy around, well, you're my friend, so I'm going to continue being your friend, even though this is hurting me or siphoning from me or taking a lot out of me. And again, for some, this isn't going to show up with people. This could show up with habits. This could show up within scenarios of your life, contemplating what it is that you are loyal to. And if it is pouring into you or if it is just siphoning your sunshine, every so often you have to contemplate, your loyalties, because I just feel with the Leo moon having opposed Pluto the night prior and building to trine Venus the next day, there is an opportunity earlier in the week to really dive into self-love. And I know that sounds corny, but I think Venus in Aries is such a beautiful opportunity to really study self-love, because self-love does not mean accepting the lowball offer that this company is putting on the table. Self-love does not mean going back to somebody who hurt you. Self-love does not mean sticking by somebody who continues to betray you. That is not self-love. And you can love someone and see the best in them without you having to continually put yourself in harm's way by continuing to be hurt by them. And again, it could show up with habits as well, like just certain habits that we were devoted to that we know are no good for us, but we keep going back. Like sometimes we have to work that muscle of self-love. Like self-love is not easy. It means having to enforce a lot of boundaries. It means having to say no when you want to say yes. It means having to know your worth, even if there's inner parts within you that are questioning it yourself. It's hard to enforce that, but your heart is too valuable of a thing to allow it to be siphoned by things that are not good for you. And with Leo moon trining Venus in Aries, it's a contemplation around what really sees, honors, and amplifies your sunshine. How can you pour into that and see that as a genuine expression of loving yourself is really the ask. So on Tuesday, we actually have nothing. So enjoy your nothing day. Again, you could feel the elements of the Leo moon opposing Pluto in the morning time, as that happened the day prior. So you could wake up with a little bit of anxiety around where things are changing. Again, questioning certain habits or certain fixed grooves of behavior and questioning if it's good for you. And then in the evening time, you could feel this energy of Leo moon trining Venus in Aries, wanting to do things that are creative, that inspire more beauty in this world, where your heart is celebrated and honored and cherished as the precious thing that it is, whether you're giving that to yourself or spending time with someone that you love. So on Wednesday, April 17th, so at 1:03 a.m., the Leo moon will trine Venus in Aries. So if you happen to be awake during that time, wherever it is that you are located in this big, beautiful world, it would be a great time to make a good meal, go for a walk, do something to show yourself love, or indulge in some romantic energy. You know, Mercury and Venus are building to align this week, so it could definitely be some sweet talking type energy. So be open to some flirting, okay? Be open to some flirting, but only with people who see, honor, recognize, and celebrate your worth, okay? No settling. The moon's in Leo. The Leo moon goes on to trine Mercury around 8:01, which can be supportive for any sort of dialogue that you need to do, particularly if there's like a presentation. You can find this as an energy where you're really stepping into your confidence, you're stepping into your leadership, you're stepping into being an orator. You could also be more creative writing-wise or having new ideas. You know, with Mercury retrograde, I always say revisit the creative graveyard. Short stories you half wrote, songs that you kind of started, paintings that you have started and forgot about. Leo moon's very creative. This can be a time to finish those things to completion. Listen, Mercury retrograde can be such a blessed time to catch up on past projects. So particularly if that's feeling in alignment with you on Wednesday would be optimal for that. The Leo moon also trines Chiron in Aries. And with this, I want to highlight that for some of you, this energy around separating yourself from people, places, and things that are actively harming you rather than helping you. For some of you, that's something that you're currently doing. You're currently in that process around separating what is really for you and what is not, what is supporting you on your journey forward and what is not. For some of you, you're in that present tense. You're doing it now. For some of you, because Mercury retrograde does make us think about the past, some of you could be hurting your own feelings, thinking about how little you respected yourself within the past. Like you could be thinking about certain behavior that you accepted or certain connections that you settled for. And now you've done the work, like you know your power, you know your worth, you know the person that you are. Your heart is hurting for the prior version of yourself who didn't know that. And again, with this Chiron energy, we could be reflecting on parts within us that are wounded. You could be hurting your own feelings within that. But again, with the energy of the Leo moon trine Mercury and trining Chiron, it's about pouring into those wounded parts of you, knowing that you did the best that you could at that particular leg of the journey, and forgiving yourself, not resenting yourself for not knowing. You did the best that you could at that particular leg in the journey, and we got to keep moving forward, right? We just had that solar eclipse. There's new chapters initiating. We cannot live in the past or live in regret over over the past. We got to keep the gaze on the future. You know your worth now. You know your value now. You know your confidence now. For some, you're in the process of building it. Nevertheless, it's never too late to stand in your power, to stand in your strength, to stand in your value, no matter of whatever transpired within the past. You don't live there anymore. And I also see with the Leo moon trining Chiron in Aries, there also could be energy around a creative project that feels healing in some regard, or even allowing yourself to public speak at your job and that's feeling healing, or auditioning for something that puts you a little out of your comfort zone, but you did it and you're feeling proud of yourself. There just could be just small shimmers on Wednesday around just where it is that you are evolving, where it is that you are stepping into your confidence, where it is that you're stepping into your strength. In the afternoon, the Leo moon will square Jupiter in Taurus at 1:11 p.m. So with the energy of Leo moon square Jupiter, you can notice that some people around you might be extra in ego. There could be excess around you. You could be feeling more in the mood to procrastinate, or you could have to procrastinate because the Leo moon goes on to square Uranus. You know, weather could be a little funky this week, I want to say, with Jupiter Uranus. There could be strange weather occurrences, Mercury's retrograde, so, technical difficulties galore. The very nature of Uranus energy is expect the unexpected. So again, be optimistic about your week, but with the energy of Uranus, it's about expect the unexpected. And, with this fixed moon, sometimes we can cling to an idea around things need to go like this. It's important to stay a little open and nimble this week around if you had blocked off your schedule to do a certain thing and then Photoshop is down, you got to shift gears, right? We got to be able to pivot. And sometimes fixed energy, particularly, we could be very attached to, no, but this is on my schedule and this is what I was going to do, or this is who I'm dating. And even though they're behaving in a way that isn't in alignment with the standards that I hold with dating, nevertheless, I'm dating this person, like trying to force things. This is not a week to force things. You just gotta bob and weave with the universe because Uranus never fails to keep us on our toes. So on Thursday, April 18th, so the moon is now waxing gibbous. So we are preparing for next week's Scorpio full moon. And I just want to highlight here that as the moon gets bigger and bigger and bigger, our emotions tend to snowball as well. So just a heads up there. And the energy of waxing gibbous moon is about dialing in the details. And like I said, Mercury retrograde, such a beautiful time to complete the incomplete, cross your T's, dot your I's, edit, refine. That's supported by the moon entering Virgo at 7:10 a.m. So again, complete the incomplete. Don't be so craving of bulldozing into your next chapter that you forget to tie up the loose ends from this chapter. And I say that because the sun is at 29 degrees Aries, which tends to give a little bit of urgency. And we all know Aries itself tends to be a very impatient sign. Nothing can happen fast enough for Aries placement. So there could be an energy on Thursday. And honestly, let me know if you've been feeling this for like the majority of eclipse season. But honestly, with so much of the cosmos in Aries, we can have shorter tempers. We could be quicker to react. Again, important not to take things personally. If people are snapping at you, it has nothing to do with you, okay? Do not take things personally, especially this week. Like, people can be reacting or speaking from their own triggers with all this Chiron energy, as well as with this impatient Aries energy, especially with the anorect degree. We could definitely be getting more annoyed on Thursday is what it's feeling with the sun at the anorect degree and the moon in Virgo. You could be really bothered by small things like your coworker is chewing super loud, or the neighbor's dog won't stop barking, or the trash truck keeps coming and beeping. You could just want to explode. You could just be noticing all the details. That's the energy of the Virgo moon and just wanting to scream. But again, with the energy of Virgo, do one thing at a time. Feel how satisfying it is to have a to-do list and to slowly and steadily check off the items from your to-do list as you complete them. Allow that to calm you, allow that to temper you. Would be a great day to work out. Great day to work out. Blow off some steam with the sun at the anorect degree. Blow off some steam. And when we consider that the ruler of the Virgo moon is still gathered pretty closely with Chiron, I just want to say that let go of how you thought things were going to be. You could be hurting your own feelings around this is not how it was supposed to be. Like, Virgo is an energy that likes a plan. And like I said, this is a week that with Jupiter Uranus, things may not go according to plan. Again, they are going to go even better. We got to work that muscle around trusting and knowing that. But with the energy of the Virgo moon on Chiron, you could be not able to get over what in your life is imperfect or did not go according to plan or could be better. Being kind of neurotic about small details that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. So control what it is that you can control and release the rest. And I will say, the ruler of the Virgo moon is also gathered with Venus. So the Mercury-Venus alignment happens early on Friday, so early, like 1 a.m., that we'll likely feel it on Thursday. And like I was saying, this is sweet talking. This is some sweet talking energy. Like, you could definitely be feeling more flirty and definitely bold. I mean, it's happening in Aries. You could definitely be talking your talk, okay? With Mercury, Venus, having a little bit more wit. Just saying, Mercury's retrograde, so you could be thinking about people from the past or even flirting with people from the past. Listen, tread with caution, okay? With the energy of Chiron, you can't return to the scene of the crime of heartache and expect to find healing. That's simply not how it works. Oftentimes you just have to find that closure within yourself, but there can be an energy around, kicking with a friend from high school, or, being able to meet up with an ex on a friend type beat, or being able to connect with an old coworker. I also want to say, with Mercury, Venus, this might be a really aligned time for a pitch of some sort. A financial pitch would be best if it is an opportunity from the past. Mercury's retrograde. But like I said, Jupiter, Uranus, there could be random money coming into your experience. So pay attention. Pay attention to what ideas are coming up, what opportunities you are seeing with Mercury, Venus. You could have money on your lips, okay? You could be extra persuasive as it relates to a financial dealing of some sort. You could be in negotiation. Like within the vibe check, it didn't work out. But we'll say within your personal vibe check, maybe it does, right? Definitely a line time to be open to collaborations or ways that you can work with others, or even beautiful ways that you can use your voice. Writers or singers also with this energy of Mercury, Venus can be impactful. It could be a really aligned poetry day or a day to write a letter. Claudia sent me a letter with all of my goodies, and there's nothing like a handwritten letter. Like, bring back letters, okay? Write somebody a letter with this Mercury-Venus energy, and you don't even have to send it. I'm such a big fan of writing letters that I never send. Like I said, with this energy of closure, it's like so rarely something that somebody else gives us. Like, we oftentimes need to create it for ourselves. And for me, writing letters to people that I never send is exactly the closure that I need. It really allows me to clarify that connection, what I learned from it, what I want to say. And maybe I don't say it to that person, but I put it out to the universe, and it allows me to free myself from that energy and no longer hold on to it. So just in case somebody wants to do that. But with Venus, Mercury, you can also notice people are just being sweeter. There could be just more like compliments that people are sharing. Just important to know, we don't know what battles people are battling, especially with Mercury, Chiron, just what loops they're stuck in, what challenges they're moving through, what hell they're moving through, what heartache they're moving through. A lot of people are really moving through some intense things right now. And we never know what someone is moving through and how the compliment that you share could make their day, right? And be that bright spot in what is a very dark chapter of their life. Like, you truly never know. It's the smallest things, it's the smallest interactions that can give you that glimmer of hope around maybe everything will be okay. And I'm sure, with Mercury retrograde, contemplate times from your past that people have done this for you, right? Like, you're really going through something, and then the barista said that she loved your smile and it made your day, or you got a comment on social media that just gave you a little bit of hope. Like, you never know what a little bit of sweetness can do for somebody else's world, especially if they're, moving through hell or something challenging. I remember I used to work in freelance social media, and I had walked to a flower stand to do a photo shoot for one of my clients, and I was really going through it, as I was a lot during that time. I was dating someone who, I don't have confirmation of this, was never diagnosed, but from my perception, a lot of this person's behaviors seemed in alignment from the research that I've done on narcissism. Actually finding what narcissism was, and this was years after this experience that I learned what narcissism was, and being able to retroactively reflect on that connection, it made so much of that behavior finally make sense. Because I think, especially this feels relevant just with Mercury Chiron, I think sometimes when we try to find answers, sometimes it could be creating more harm than good. Like, for me, I just remember being in this connection, and I was so confused why this person was treating me like this. I was so confused, and my curiosity almost made me get even more deep, because I felt like I had to figure it out. and like I had to help this person, right? Because I could not understand it. And like, talk about tenants in your brain. I was obsessed that this person had taken full residence in my brain as they liked it, as they liked it. And I was completely consumed around whether or not they were, you know, love bombing me or devaluing me or whatever. But I just remember that time in my life, I was pretty much in agony all of the time because of what this person was putting me through. And when I was at this flower stand, I just had to buy flowers for this photo shoot. And I was just really going through that day. I was having a really, really horrible day. And the flower stand man was helping me pick out flowers for the shoot. And then he was like, oh, you can go in there to fill out the card. And I was like, oh, I don't need a card because I was just photographing the flowers. And he was like, no, like you should have a card. And I was like, well, I'm just using them for photos, so I don't need a card. And he's like, write a card for yourself. And that little gesture meant so much to me. And I picked out a little card and I wrote a card to myself. And I just said, like, dear Haley, I know you're going through hell, but please remember that you deserve, you know, beautiful things and lovely flowers and sunny days, and life won't always feel like it does right now. And I remember tearing up as I was writing this card because there was so much about what I was walking through at that time where I was not loving myself. I mean, in the slightest, I was not loving myself by being in that environment. And even just that small act of that man encouraging me to write me a card kind of reminded me like, oh, I'm somebody who's worthy of flowers and cards and nice things and not like this constant agony that I've been in ever since I met this person. It was such a small action, but it really impacted me so much. I actually still have the card. Because it really was a turning point for me. It truly was a turning point for me to like get out of just that mental fog that I was in around just being consumed by this person and their treatment of me and trying to understand why it seemed like they were trying to intentionally harm me. And my mind couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, why would somebody want to intentionally harm somebody and intentionally put them through such agony that this person was going through? They couldn't be intentionally trying to do that because I'd never met somebody like that. And I think with Mercury Chiron, I kept returning to the source of the pain, trying to understand it. But the only healing thing was getting out of that relationship and eventually being able to dive into resources and make sense of it. Like, oh, those were never answers I was going to get from that person. That's only answers that I got years in the future. So I just want to say, I'm just really feeling this energy that somebody out there needs to hear this with Mercury Chiron and Venus Chiron. Sometimes you won't have the full clarity around why the relationship had to fall apart or why this person is treating you how they are treating you or what have you. Sometimes you won't have that for years in the future, but it doesn't do you any good to continue to be around an environment that is harming you, trying to understand it or trying to fix it. Like at a certain degree, if it is actively causing you harm, sometimes you just got to know that that clarity may come in the future. And for some of you, you can be thinking about past experiences. And like I said, I see a theme around some people are thinking like, gosh, like I can't believe I put up with that. Like I think of that girl that I was just telling you about right now and I'm like, what was her deal? Like, girl, stand up. Stand up. Like, what was going on? But I forgive her. She was doing that she could. She didn't know at the time. And again, that perspective can be healing. So on Friday, April 19th at 1:59 a.m., Mercury and Venus align. And I talked about this a lot yesterday, but I also just want to say with Mercury, Venus, think pretty thoughts. Think about what it is that you want to water within your universe. Think about yourself. With the energy of Aries, think about yourself. Think about what enlivens you. Think about what inspires you. If you're noticing you have all these tenets in your mind of all of these people who aren't acting right or what have you, kick them out. Think about yourself. Think about what inspires you. Think about what you find beautiful. Think about what you love within this world. Get obsessed with yourself. It's so weird, but the more you are obsessed with yourself, the more other people are obsessed with you too. And I don't mean obsessed in a narcissistic way, okay? I just mean the more that you are pouring into yourself and having fun and doing what you love, the more magnetic you are. It's like you like hanging out with yourself, so other people want to hang out with you too. And so if you're in a space with this Mercury Chiron energy and Venus Chiron energy, where a lot of your focus is around, who's not there any longer, or who's not texting back, or who's not doing this, or who's not showing up, be so enlivened and be having so much fun within your well-rounded life that you're not even paying attention. Like with the energy of Mercury, Venus, understand the value that is your mental space. And again, there is an ask to work the muscle this week around what are we allowing to live rent-free within our brain, and what aspects of ourself that we want to pour more into. Again, with Mercury retrograde, maybe there's past hobbies or interests that you're wanting to reclaim. This is around pouring into things that will directly benefit you and kicking out anything that's creating harm within your mental space and really pouring into what makes you feel alive. It's so weird, but that's where you are the most magnetic, is when you are having fun, when you are living a life that truly feels like you. Like as we are wrapping up Aries season, be courageous enough to live your own life. Be courageous enough to advocate for your own desires. Be courageous enough to know who it is that you are and make decisions from that space. And take your power back from whatever is actively creating more harm than good within your life, and whatever puts you out of authenticity, whatever puts you out of alignment. With Mercury, Venus, this can be an optimal time to reflect on your finances, go through, check expenses, check income, see where it is that you could invest or save or budget. There can be contemplations around your finances, how it is that you're leveraging it. It can be quite flirty, okay? So this happens so early on Friday. A lot of us can feel it on Thursday. It might be a great date night, but the moon's in Virgo, so you might get annoyed about how your date is chewing. But with Mercury, Venus, there could be a nice banter. It's happening in Aries, so there could be like a flirty, kind of competitive banter type beat. And again, stay open for new opportunities. Now, some of these opportunities, stay with me, some of these opportunities may come from the past, reconnecting with somebody who is working at a company that you could work for, or remembering that idea that you had and contemplating how you can bring that into fruition. Like definitely keep your eyes open. There could be new stimuli or old stimuli, but there is opportunity alive in the air for those who are willing to see it and spot it and initiate on it. Again, with Mercury retrograde, definitely important to be mindful of it, but there definitely is some fresh new energy alive within the air. So pay attention. And then at 7 a.m., the sun enters Taurus. So I want to take this opportunity to wish a very happy birthday to all of the wonderful bulls in the zodiac. We adore you for your grounded nature, for literally having the best taste of the zodiac. Let's just say it. Best music taste, best food taste, best interior design taste. Every time I meet a Taurus, just everything about them is lovely and sensual and comfortable. I'm just like, how do you guys do it? You just make every environment more beautiful, more enjoyable. You have the best taste in everything. I literally just have my Taurus rising friends order for us when we're at restaurants, because I know whatever it is that they're going to select is going to be delectable. But adding to that, you all are so loyal. I adore how reliable you all are, how you protect your peace, how you stay out of drama. Love you all, Tauruses. I hope you enjoy your season. May you eat lots of delicious food. Be in beautiful environments. Get out in nature, bulls. Enjoy your season. And so for all of us, with the sun entering Taurus, we could definitely feel this shift towards feeling slightly a little bit more calm. Okay, we went from all this Aries energy to the energy of Taurus. It's like, let's ground down. Let's be where it is that we are. We can feel, because the Taurus sun is building a square Pluto, like things are changing. But be where you are. Be where you are. You may not know the next state you're going to live in or where you're going to live after this apartment lease is up. Take this opportunity to really enjoy this season. Like having that awareness around, wow, my life is going to look radically different in 2 months. I don't know what that's going to look like, but let me enjoy this season. Like even if you're in between jobs, I know that can feel so uncomfortable when you're like, where is my next income coming from? Or if you're, you just got out of a relationship and you're like, part of me just wants to jump back into another relationship. Like the in-between is uncomfortable, but it is a season of your life. And even if it's not like the best season of your life, it is a season of your life. And you will honor it as a very pivotal part of your growth. And so honoring the lessons that are coming alive for you within this particular chapter of your journey and taking it one step at a time. With the energy of Taurus, you can find you're more inclined to want to be out in nature, have more picnics, make delicious food, sip delicious wine, enjoy the present moment. I think that's like a cheat code for accessing the Jupiter Uranus energies, that like fortune favors those who are present in the moment, right? Like when you're on that walk in the vibe check, if you were just absorbed in your own thoughts, you wouldn't have been looking at the birds and feeling the breeze and looking at the billboards. Like you have to be firmly rooted and devoted to the present moment in order to look around for opportunity or new things that could come into your awareness or new ideas that could come up. Be here now. Friday, we also have some Mars energy. Now, it's subtle, but it's alive within Friday's astrology. So Mars in Pisces will sextile its ruler, Jupiter in Taurus. This happens at 8:28 a.m. And this, in conjunction with the Virgo moon and the Taurus sun, you could be in the mood to get to the bag. You could be in the mood to jump on opportunities. You could be feeling more motivated in order to bring things to life, right? To take things out of the ethers and put them into your physical reality. And with the energy of Jupiter being opportunity and Mars being action, it's important that you need to take hold of the opportunities. Like I said, this is not a week to just passively wait for the jackpot to arrive. You have to stay open. You have to be open to new ideas, how it could come through you, where if somebody walks in the room where your gut feels pulled to them, taking the risk, talking to them. Like this is an important week to honor what your intuition is pulling you towards and to stay present in order to spot opportunity as it comes up. Because Mars sextile Jupiter, this could be a risk that works out or an opportunity that comes your way that works out. And it's guided by intuition with Mars and Pisces. So pay attention. And also Mars and Pisces will sextile Uranus as the two are building. They align officially tomorrow. And so this is an energy around taking new actions to get new results. Again, a lot last week we talked about if I keep doing what I've been doing, I'm going to keep getting what it is that I've been getting. And with Mars Saturn last week, there was this energy to really audit our time, audit our energy, what we're investing in, what we're putting it in. And with the sextile to Jupiter and Uranus, it's asking yourself, what do I need to do more of? Right? What am I feeling motivated to do more of? What within my life do I want to garden? What sprouts in my life do I want to water? And am I going to see the results that I want via doing the same old, or is it time for a new technique with the sextile to Uranus? Again, these are soft influences. These are opportunity aspects, but an important time where if you get the nudge, if you feel motivated, take action on it. And you know, with the energy of Virgo moon, especially with it opposing Saturn around 2:53 p.m., we're in the mood to show up, right? It's Taurus season. We're trying to get to the bag. Virgo moon, we're trying to do our due diligence in order to build new opportunities within our life. And yes, there can be certain headaches or annoyances that come up in your Friday, particularly Friday afternoon when that opposition to Saturn exacts around 2:53 p.m. You could feel a little suffocated or overwhelmed by the amount of work that is on your plate, honestly, or you can just feel a little bit emotionally blocked or restricted, but keep showing up. Taurus is the bull, one hoof in front of the next. So on Saturday, April 20th, the day that we have all been waiting for. So I do want to say that I've done a deep dive video all about this transit. You can find it there to figure out where your lucky break awaits. And again, I want to make it so clear. It's not going to show up for all of us around a free yacht that we happen upon or winning the lottery or you're getting a big break. Like, it's not going to show up in these major ways for every single person. Now, be open to it. Absolutely be open to it. But also be open to the small, subtle ways that your perception can change your reality. Again, like within the vibe check, this is seeing the cricket, seeing Jiminy Cricket and seeing people playing cricket, where you asked universe source energy, you were like, show me cricket if I'm going to be okay. And the universe showed up for you. And even just seeing that, getting that confirmation just allowed you to be able to be in that space of creation rather than doom and freaking out and fearing the worst, around being open around, okay, what's going to come next? The universe, let me know. The universe has got me. And so for some, it could be coming through around this unexpected burst of faith, like this feeling of optimism of your journey, around feeling that it's safe to anticipate good things. That would be important this week because with Sun building to square Pluto, there could be energies of fear and doom that are coming into your awareness, and there can be an energy around fearing what's coming in. But there is an energy with Jupiter Uranus around what if it is going to be even better than I could have imagined. What if me saying no to this job that would have horrendously underpaid me is going to allow me to take a new position in a different state where I'm going to make 3 times as much and meet my soulmate and start a new business? Like, what if this obstacle is my greatest blessing? And what if I can awaken my perspective around that so that I can actively look for blessings? Because again, when we're in doom, like my life is over, this opportunity didn't work out, we're not looking up. We're not looking around. We're not looking at the billboards and looking at the flowers and looking at the birds. We're not looking at the opportunity that can be present in our present moment. Again, it's Taurus season. Be here now. Feel into your senses. Opportunity awaits you in the present moment. You won't find it reminiscing on the past and in those old pain stories, right? Or fearing of the future. Opportunity is in the right now. And so with Jupiter Uranus, it could be an unexpected lucky break around your own intuition, your own spirituality. There could be essentially something that comes into your awareness on Saturday, a class, a workshop, something that electrifies your perspective and changes you as a result. There could be a new learning opportunity that comes your way. There can be a new financial opportunity that comes your way. It just asks you, are you paying attention? Are you open to the new? And so from a lunar perspective, if you happen to be awake for it, the Virgo moon will trine the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction around 3 a.m.-ish, 3:14 a.m. and 3:26 a.m. is when the two trines occur. And so if you're up, if you're awake with the energy of the Virgo moon, you can find new ideas, new inspired ideas or perspectives while you're exercising, while you're cleaning. There's magic in the mundane. Do not feel like if you don't win the lottery this week or get the biggest break ever, that this energy cannot radically change your life. Like that incident that I told you about writing a card to myself at the flower shop, not the most earth-shattering thing when you just look at the logistics of it, but when I say that marked a significant turning point, it was a significant perspective opener around, wow, what am I doing? I'm someone who deserves flowers and lovely things and pouring into myself. Like, why am I pouring into somebody who's destroying me? That small interactions radicalized my world and sent me on the trajectory I'm on now. And it showed up in that micro way. And so being open to the little moments and epiphanies that can change your trajectory and contemplate. I would love to know in the comments if you relate with that. If there's been minor moments in your journey where you finally have that moment around, okay, enough of this, or I got to do something different, or something's got to change. You're having an idea that comes into your awareness that changes your life. It happens in the micro. And if we spend our whole life waiting for the macro, waiting for these big moments around randomly getting a red carpet invitation and meeting a multimillionaire who's going to fly us around the world, getting a $5 million check in the mail, if we keep waiting for these big moments, we're losing out on all of the beauty and opportunity that exists within the small moments. So with the energy of the Virgo moon, dial into them, be open, and in those acts of exercising or cleaning or fixing, Virgo moon tends to be very dialed into our physical reality. You can be having inspired new ideas coming into your awareness. Right? Now, I do want to say you could be feeling a lack of energy on Saturday. You could be deep in dream space, right? Because the Virgo moon opposes Mars. So you might be feeling a little bit more drained when you wake up. The Virgo moon opposes Neptune. So maybe some of you are drained because in your dreams, you're like chasing someone or you're doing something very active and then you need space to recover. I hate that when I wake up from dreams and I don't feel like I rested at all because I was on a quest the entire time I was asleep and I was supposed to be resting. Like, what the heck was that? That could be the reality for some, but I would definitely say today's astrology asks for a blend around, yes, show up for your physical reality, clean, do what it is that you got to do. But with the opposition to Neptune, be open to dream, be open to envision, be open to ponder. That's where those genius inspirations are going to come in. The moon is void at 5:20 p.m., closing aspect, the Virgo moon opposing Neptune in Pisces. And then the moon will enter Libra at 8:08 p.m., which draws our awareness to the one-to-one. And now we've got the sun in Taurus and the moon in Libra, two Venusian ruled signs. So two Venusian ruled signs. So enjoy some Venus in your world. Eat something delicious, be around beautiful things, pour into those that you love. And part of that equation better be yourself, okay? On Sunday, April 21st, as I was talking about yesterday, we now have both the luminaries in Venusian ruled signs. So yes, there can be a higher likelihood that we're wanting to connect, we're wanting to be around beautiful things, we're wanting to buy ourselves flowers and write a little card. But it's important to follow the ruler. Venus is currently not in a sign that she likes to be in, and she's connected to Chiron. So like I said, there's energies this week where there can be certain wounds that are surfacing. You could be contemplating things in the past that really hurt you. There could be certain events currently that are hurting you, that are cutting into your worth, that are cutting into your value. This was weaved into the vibe check around having to say no to that paltry offer, and even having to battle inwardly around, ooh, should I just settle for that? Like, is that what I am worthy of? And even with that experience of the relationship that I was connected to during that flower shop incident, like there were parts of me that felt like I deserved that. Again, when you are so ensnared in what is actively causing you harm, you can feel like that is what you are worth, or that is what you deserve. It takes being out of that environment that you can genuinely heal. And sometimes it takes removing yourself from that scenario to realize this is what I deserve. This is what I'm worth. And it's such a muscle to build, to have that awareness around, no, I deserve more. I do feel like Venus in Aries, even though it's not dignified, it is helpful in getting that fire back. If you've just been kind of like settling for people who are treating you badly, or a position that's underpaying you, or something of that nature, with the energy of Chiron, it could be kind of like triggering, like you could be feeling triggered, certainly, but Venus in Aries could be, inspiring you to fight for yourself, advocate for yourself, advocate for your healing, advocate for yourself to get into an environment where it's conducive for your healing. Again, you cannot heal when you are repeatedly getting hurt. So for some of you, there could be an ask to, remove yourself from scenarios where it is consistently causing you pain. And with Venus Chiron, I just want to share a couple of other manifestations. So one being, especially since now Mercury and Venus are separating, there can be contemplations around your own finances and where it is that you have internalized your worth through that. Again, I don't want everyone to feel like you have to have like a friendship breakup or a friend breakup or get out of a situation that's not helping you. I also just feel like with Venus Chiron, your relationship could be providing a stage currently for you to move through some of your own kind of like psychological triggers. Like you could be feeling more triggered by love at this moment. And it's important to know that like a lot of our life school does show up within the relating of me and you and the us that we create. Like a lot of our life school does show up there. And a lot of our relationships will bring up, our biggest triggers. And there's such a difference between, our triggers being active in a connection versus somebody intentionally triggering us in order to cause us harm. Like those are different things. And with Venus Chiron, there can be certain parts of you that come to the surface within your connection around, ooh, like when you said that, it brought me back to this old loop within myself. And, it's important not to let your triggers control you. Like sometimes with Chiron and Aries, we can feel this tendency around wanting to lash out or hurt the other person because they hurt us. And it's really important, especially with Mercury retrograde, to take that moment to check in. Where did that, hurt me? And how can I use this as an opportunity to shed light on what within me is hurting here and how we can grow as a couple by using this as a learning opportunity, right? I also want to share with Venus Chiron, because Venus is money and beauty. So that can also be where you are beating yourself up or being very hard on yourself. And with Venus and Mercury now separating, I do want to say, be mindful of the internal script that you are giving yourself around finances and around your beauty, okay? Again, I'm not saying we have to be good thought, bad thought, but also think about the tenets in your brain that aren't people at all. It's you being like, I'm so ugly, I'm so this, I'm so that. It's also you being like, I'm so bad with money, I spend it the second that I get it. I took that credit card out and I have this debt. You're like beating yourself up around these old mistakes, as well as allowing these elements of your life to say something about you and your worthiness, okay? Be mindful what's living in your mind rent-free. And the gift of Mercury retrograde is that we do have this opportunity to shift our perspective on these matters for the purpose of healing. What I also want to say about Sunday is that, very apt for Sun's day, we have a Sun aspect, but it is the Taurus Sun squaring Pluto, which can be intense, okay, to say the least. So firstly, what I want to say is you could be around very power-hungry, egotistical types, right, who just kind of suck the oxygen out of the room, who need a lot of attention on them. Like, definitely be mindful of power plays. And I just feel like today's astrology, especially with this happening in Venus Chiron, like a lot of times people are that way because of an inherent lack of worthiness within themselves. That's why they need everybody's eyes on them for themselves to feel worthy. That's why, like, self-worth, it's truly an inside job. You can have all the attention, all the accolades, and it'll never feel to be enough. You'll just be a parasite, just wanting more and more and more of it because you're looking to fill something that only you can give yourself, right? And so that's one element of how this can come up. A lot of us could just feel this energy around something's transforming. Okay, something's on the horizon. I'm feeling uncomfy. I'm in this in-between energy of my old life and my new life. Some people could even feel in a crossroads around where it is that you are going. Again, there can be a strong tendency with the Taurus sun around wanting to, stay in your comfort zone or do what it was that you've always done. But there is part of the cosmos that is pushing you in a new direction, in the direction of growth. Okay, in the direction of growth. And so also with Sun square Pluto, there can also be this interesting shift that's showing up with your identity, how it is that you see yourself, right? The container you hold yourself within. Because how it is that you see yourself can impact the behavior that you accept, the positions that you accept. And a lot of times, if you've been around, this energy that I'm sharing about around, egotistical people who thinks, sun rises and sets according to their own needs, a lot of times they do get opportunities. Like, they do get a lot of opportunities. Again, a lot of them are not warranted, and I don't think that's the way that we should navigate life, but there are people who have a fraction of the talent that you have, a fraction of the wit that you have, getting what it is that you want because they believe in themselves. Now, they might be a little delusional and grandiose in their belief in themselves. But again, with Venus Chiron, if you've been holding yourself back from things and you feel like you're seeing other people get what it is that you want, it's time to empower yourself. It's time to open up your perspective of how it is that you see yourself. Because again, if you see yourself as somebody who deserves fortune, you're more likely to seek out and take on opportunities that provide fortune. And again, I'm not saying you need to be egotistical. I'm not saying you need to be grandiose, but it's just a reminder that there are lots of people who are fraction as qualified, who are getting things that you would want because of their belief in themselves. So there's really an ask to work that muscle around believing in yourself. Fortune favors those who believe they are worthy of fortune. So my loves, that is our week. The Magic Monday mantra of the week is, when I change, I grow. Start seeing change as the vehicle that is going to deliver everything that you want out of this experience and more. Start seeing change as a friend of yours. Start seeing change as something exciting and thrilling. There's almost this energy, and I feel like I'm saying this because it's very Taurus season-esque, right? Taurus, I always think of potted plants. Taurus placements, they love their plants, okay? But I think of this Taurus sun squaring Pluto energy as the process of a plant being repotted, right? It's like, when a plant has grown to a certain amount, it gets root bound, like its roots cannot grow any longer. But you're comfy in your container. You like it in this container, but you can't grow here anymore, right? And even if this container is actively creating harm, like your roots can't grow anymore, so the plant starts to suffer, there could be an energy, this is my container. Or even, this is the only container I'm worthy of. Could I possibly grow big enough to take a container like that? No, I'll just stay here, even if it's painful, even if it's actively harming me or actively holding me back from my true growth. I'll stay here, I'll stay here, I'll stay here. And the process of repotting a plant is actually quite traumatic for the plant, okay? And some of us could feel to be in that space around, there are changes that feel very uncertain, there's disappointments, there's things that are happening that are not ideal, they're very uncomfortable, right? And in that process, some of the roots, as gentle as you'll try to be, some of the roots will get a little damaged, but you put it in the new container and there could be an energy around, could I possibly grow into this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And again, with Venus on Chiron and Mercury on Chiron, there could be an energy around, am I good enough for this? Can I grow into this? Do I have the ability within me to grow into this era of my life, this container? But being in that bigger room, yes, it's going to challenge you in new ways. It's going to inspire your roots to stretch into bigger dimensions, but it's going to allow you to grow. When you change, you grow. To seize this lucky Jupiter Uranus energy, it's important to try to do some different things. Walk different ways, read different books, talk to different people. Be open to getting some new stimuli in your brain, especially if this current season of your life with this Chiron energy, it's one that's very painful. You're like, I'm thinking about my ex obsessively. I'm thinking about this opportunity that didn't work out. I need some new loops. I'm getting bored in this pain. It's like with the energy of Uranus, get into some new environments. You're going to meet a new new version of yourself within these new environments, and you can have new ideas within these new environments. It doesn't have to be these big major things. It could be walking a different way, saying yes to a party you typically say no to, taking a class, being spontaneous, being open to life, allowing yourself to play with the idea that maybe you're not just going to be okay, you're going to be better than okay. You're going to live a life that's beyond your wildest imagination, because that's the thing about Uranus, is that Uranus is about surprises. And with Jupiter Uranus, you could be delightfully surprised by the new opportunities, the new perspectives, the new awarenesses that are coming into your experience. So my loves, that is our week. If you made it to the end of the forecast, let me know by dropping the plant emoji below or using the word plant within a sentence to let me know that you made it to the end. Thank you for bearing with my voice. Fingers crossed that next week my voice will be as good as new. Let me know if you can hear it. In consultations, everyone has been like, no, you sound the same. But to me, I sound like a freaking alien. But if anything's going to heal me, I think it's going to be Taurus season. You know, Taurus governs the throat. So I think Taurus season will give me and my poor little throat the relief that it needs. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. I'd so love to connect with you over there. Reminder that the Self-Care Astrology April 2024 group class will be all about transits. It's held live Saturday, April 27th at 10 a.m. PDT. But of course, you can just tune in via replay. Your chart and transits will be utilized within examples, so it allows you to get some personal information on the seasons of life that you are moving through. My loves, make it a magical week as always. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.